Oh, we're recording. Okay, well, that's good. So, good evening, everyone. It's Thursday, May 9th. I had to put a sweatshirt on here in Michigan because it's a little cold tonight. We've had rain most of the day, but that's okay. We're not going to complain. It's not that white stuff. This is Sue Petterson from Michigan, and unfortunately, my camera's not working tonight, but my audio is. So you'll just have to picture me in front of my coffee barista station without it. But we are recording tonight, and we will make sure this gets available and is up on the YouTube site as soon as we get it downloaded from the cloud tonight, and make sure that everybody knows that all of our programs are up on YouTube. Voices of Service with Sue P. I will make sure I get that out into the Facebook page again, and we encourage you to share this program as well as any of the other programs that are out there to talk about what's going on in Kiwanis. To give you a couple ideas of what's coming up next week, we will have a program on using movie clips to talk about leadership. I've got some movie clips that will talk about some different aspects of leadership. The week after, Paul Palazzolo and Diana O'Brien will be on to talk about the amendments that will be before the House of Delegates in Denver. But part of that will be the structure of how those will work. We'll do some discussion if we have time on the amendments themselves, but we want to make sure that people understand how that process will work with the number of amendments. If you have not downloaded your amendments from the Kiwanis.org website, I encourage you to do that. I want to make sure that you know there were a couple changes that were made to the amendments based on something that based on our Voices of Service program several weeks ago, where we caught a few things, which was great. So that's out there. We will work with Diana and then Erica, who's Diana is officially retired but is staying on to help us through some things, and they will be with us the week after that. And then we also have a couple of the programs I have coming up. I have Will Tiemann, who is the voice of the Spartans on the radio, and he will come on and talk about his role with being a broadcaster for Tom Izzo and the men's basketball team, and a few other programs that are booked up along the way. We are going to bring the candidates back. I just have to set up the calendar and make sure that's connected with. We will not meet the week of Memorial Day. I think it's the 30th. I will be in Boston at a conference that I'm presenting at, so I don't want to try to rush back from the conference to be at our presentation. So we'll give everybody that week off, and knowing that it's the holiday week, I expect that there will be a lot of people on vacation, but we will continue after that. And then I've got a few other requests out there. If you have anybody that you're interested in bringing on or would like us to bring on, please let me know and we'll get that going. But today I'm very excited to have with us Lynsy Karrick. Lynsy is the Director of Leadership Development for Kiwanis International. And a couple of weeks ago, we had Mike Downs on to talk about the generalities of the convention in Denver. And Lynsy is going to come on and talk about the education programs that will be offered at the convention in Denver to give you an idea what's going on and how the programs are going to run. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lynsy and let you take it away.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me, Sue. Glad to be back with the Voices of Service group, and glad to see some familiar faces. All right, I am going to share a PowerPoint with you all and just walk you through what our education schedule looks like for the Kiwanis International Convention coming up in Denver, July 3rd through the 6th. We were talking as people were logging on. There's a lot actually happening on Wednesday, the day before the convention actually starts. So I'll cover a little bit of that. And then Thursday and Friday, the 4th and 5th, are our big education days. So that's what I'm really going to be focusing on this evening with you all. All right. So as I said, we actually kick off some educational opportunities on Wednesday, July 3rd. If you all are a part of the Kiwanis Amplify program or have been a part of the Kiwanis Amplify program in the past, we are offering our capstone experience again on that Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. That is something you have to register separately for. There is no additional cost to attend that. Any past program participant is welcome to attend. I am revamping the capstone experience this year, so if you participated before, it will be new, some new content there. It will be strengths focused still, but we'll be talking about infusing strengths into your Kiwanis leadership and all of that good stuff, and an opportunity for you all to meet Kiwanis Amplify grads from all over the world. We've had 570 new participants this year, so the program is going strong, and we're excited to have a great turnout at convention again this year. If you're interested in registering for that, the registration link is up on each Kiwanis Amplify classes Facebook page, and we will be sending out an email to all past and current participants for you all to sign up for that if you so choose. We also will be hosting governor-elect education. So anyone who is currently serving as a governor-elect, we will see you from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. On that Wednesday, July 3rd, for some in-person education opportunities while we're in Denver. So we're excited about that. All right, moving on to Thursday, July 4th. That's our first official day of the Kiwanis International Convention, and when our education conference officially kicks off. We will start at 9:30 in the morning with our convention kickoff. We will then have 3 45-minute education blocks, and then we will conclude the day with a 45-minute discussion on the dues increase. Last year, we tried to do some town halls around the dues increase, but the rooms that we had were not super large. This year, we have a room that seats nearly 700 people, and we will be hosting this session twice. So if you try to go on Thursday and can't get in, we are hosting it again at 9 a.m. Friday morning. So if you don't have caucusing going on Friday morning at that time, you can attend the Friday morning session as well. It'll be the same session. I believe Sue's involved in that. So please do try to attend that so that you can learn everything that you need to learn about what's being proposed for the dues increase, ask any burning questions that you might have, all of that good stuff. Well, I want to go through a little bit more information on each one of these pieces. So first, the convention kickoff, we start with a keynote speaker named Chris Singleton. Chris Singleton is a former Chicago Cubs baseball player whose mother was actually killed in the South Carolina church mass shooting, racially motivated mass shooting, when he was just 18 years old. And he talks about love being stronger than hate, and how we need to really focus on looking out for one another, loving one another, supporting one another, and is a very uplifting message, very inspiring message. And we're really excited to have him kick off our convention with a very strong message about the importance of community and support for one another. After lunch, we will move into our education blocks at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. I'm not going to go through each individual program with you. The exact schedule of every single session that we're offering is on the convention website under education programming and schedule. So kiwanis.org/convention. You can find all of that. But in general, you will find sessions on membership, service leadership programs, information technology, cybersecurity, Kiwanis Engage. Some of you have been hearing about this new membership platform that we have coming out called Kiwanis Engage. We are going to be previewing that technology at convention. We're excited about that. We've also got some things on club websites, cybersecurity, all that good stuff. And then some general tips and tricks. I'm doing a session on conflict resolution. There's some things on grant writing, just all kinds of things that I think will be generally helpful for our clubs. The other thing that is new this year that I'm kind of excited about is we're doing a number of different sessions that we're calling Club Stories. So on Thursday, we will be having club stories on service project success, fundraising success, and membership growth. And what those are going to be is different clubs have submitted their various successes in these areas, and we are in the process of selecting clubs to present. Each club is going to have 10 to 15 minutes to present how they were successful with something specific. So not just, hey, look at this cool thing that we did, but here's how we did it and how you and your club might be able to take it and run with it. So that's really what the purpose of these sessions are going to be. So we're excited to be able to share some stories directly from our volunteers with all of our participants, so that when you see on the schedule club stories, that's what that is. All right, so that pretty much covers Thursday education-wise. There's a lot more going on, but I'm just focusing on education. Mike was able to go over more of the general schedule with you. Friday, July 5th, we continue with our education conference. As I said before, at 9 o'clock, we will have another session on the dues increase. It will be a repeat session. So if you go to one, you don't need to go to the other. But if we do run out of room on that Thursday, Friday morning is another option. It will still be in that room that holds 700 people. So we should be able to fit everyone in one of those two sessions that wants to go. So hopefully space does not become an issue again. Then we are continuing with our Kiwanis Launchpad series. So for anybody who's participated in that the last few years, that's been on our main stage. It will be on our main stage again. We have 4 speakers joining us from 10 a.m. to 11:30. Then after lunch, we'll continue with 2 more education blocks. And then we'll close with our Power Perseverance keynote. And I'll go into a little more detail on each of those things and why we have Blue the mascot up here. So first, these are our Kiwanis Launchpad speakers that we have that we're hosting this year. Number 1 is Ann Bonney. Ann Bonney, if you're familiar with our Kiwanis Amplify program, she is one of our content experts. She is a fiery redhead, as you can tell, who loves to talk about change and getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so we're really excited to have her with us. She's a ball of energy and is going to be a really dynamic speaker to have with us. Next, we have Trey Mock. Trey Mock is actually the man behind the mask of Blue, the Colts NFL mascot. He does a talk on removing the mask and being an authentic leader, showing up as your true self in any circumstance. So that's what he's going to be talking with us about. Next, we have Teresa Poor, and she is an expert on belonging and how important it is to make sure that our members feel a sense of belonging in our clubs. So she's going to talk about the key ingredients for building a strong volunteer team and helping everyone feel like they are really, truly a part of that team. And finally, we have Ray Sandoval, who is a member of the Kiwanis Club of Santa Fe and is the chairman of the Zozobra event. So Zozobra, if anyone's familiar with Burning Man, which is a huge music festival that happens, Burning Man is actually kind of a ripoff of Zozobra. Zozobra is the original, and Zozobra is actually turning 100 years old this year. Kiwanis took this program over in the 60s and has been running it ever since. And it was slowly but surely dying. And the Kiwanis Club of Santa Fe decided, this is a huge cultural event in Santa Fe every year, and we can't let this event die. We need to do something. So in the 2010s, they decided to start revamping it. And they have done a fantastic job at finding new and exciting ways of approaching their signature project, getting the media involved and the entire community involved, and engaging new and younger members in this project that has been around for years and years and years. So Ray is going to talk about how to do that. Zozobra is a huge scale. It's a 60,000 person event every year. So not every Kiwanis club has an event of that scale, right? But the things that he's going to talk about are absolutely applicable to any Kiwanis project, all right, especially a signature project, regardless of size. And so we're excited to have Ray there to talk a little bit more about this. All right, so that's the Kiwanis Launchpad. So we're excited about that. The Kiwanis Launchpad, for those that have not participated in that before, these are TED-style talks on our main stage. So each person is only going to get to talk for about 12 minutes. But they're quick, they're helpful tips, and on to the next. So it's a great opportunity. So you're not going to be sitting there for hours listening to these folks talk. It's just going to be a hard-hitting, quick 12 minutes, and then the next person comes out. All right. Block 4 on Friday, which is the 1 o'clock block, is extra long. It's a 90-minute block. Every other education block is only 45 minutes. This 90-minute block is what we're calling our leadership sessions. So we're targeting specific audiences with this block. So we're doing a district leadership planning summit. So that is for governors, governors-elect, vice governors, governor candidates, immediate past governors. All right. We're doing a influential lieutenant governor session. So for any lieutenant governors or incoming lieutenant governors, we're doing a club leader academy. Any club leaders, incoming club leaders, anyone who considers themselves a leader in the club, you don't have to have a formal position. Come on into that. Club membership chair huddle, an SLP advisor boot camp, risk manager gathering, and a children's fund volunteer coaching session. Okay. So some people wear a lot of hats, and we know this, and decisions are going to have to be made, right? On which one of these to attend. I encourage you to attend the one for your highest ranking leadership role. If you fall into that district leadership team, you absolutely need to be at that session. It's going to be awesome. We're really excited about that. I mean, they're all going to be great, don't get me wrong, but that district leadership planning summit is going to be super duper important, and we want entire leadership teams coming to that together if at all possible. These sessions are going to be about teamwork and continuous improvement. All right, in whatever level of leadership you fall in. Katrina was very excited about doing something on teamwork and leadership in general, and so that is where this brainchild came from, is her desire to do some of that leadership planning. This will not be positional leadership training, so this isn't CLE on steroids. Okay, this is 2.0. This is soft skills. This is how to work together, not so much how to be a club president or how to be a lieutenant governor. Okay. This is 2.0. All right. A little bit more on the education blocks. Ann Bonnie is actually coming back after her launch pad to do a workshop on conquering challenging conversations. So we're excited to have that. We've got our youth protection session. We got more technology sessions, more tips and tricks sessions. And then we also have more club stories on Friday in block 5. So we've got one on club revitalization. We've got a gentleman from a club in the Texas-Oklahoma district who their club was down to about 5 people, and they have completely revamped and have grown drastically. And he's going to walk everyone through that process of how they were able to do that. We're going to have a session on building builders clubs, and how folks have been really successful at growing their builders, starting and supporting builders clubs, as that is another very important project for Katrina is builders clubs. And then finally, we will have Ray Sandoval and some of the other Santa Fe Kiwanis Club members doing kind of expanding on their success in Zozobra and what they've learned from revamping that signature project, and how you can take what they've learned through that process and apply it to your own signature projects. So that will also be in that final education block. And finally, we have our closing keynote speaker on the power of perseverance, Diana Nyad. If you've not seen the documentary about her on Netflix, I recommend it, with Annette Bening and Jodie Foster. She is a power swimmer. She was the first person to swim from Cuba to Florida, over 100 miles at the age of 63. She did this. She tried it for years and years and years and was unsuccessful. And then finally, at the age of 63, she was able to tackle that task. And so we're excited to have her share her story of perseverance and inspire us all to keep going, keep trucking, and to encourage the kids that we support to do the same, right? So we're very excited to have Diana with us on Friday afternoon. All right. And that is our lineup for education at the Kiwanis International Convention. I went through that super quick, so I would love to engage in any conversation that you have or questions that you might have. Again, if you go to kiwanis.org/convention, that is where you can register for convention. If you haven't already, do it now, because convention hotels are booking. We already have one that's completely full. So if you have not made those reservations yet, you should definitely get on it. But yeah, hopefully this lineup excites you. And I'm open to any questions you might have about education or anything else convention, really, because, why not?
So I'll ask Lynsy, one of the things I heard about is the fact that Paul Palazzolo, our new executive director, and the board and I know Katrina were looking about things that people could take back to their clubs. And that was part of the big focus. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, okay. So all of the membership sessions, and then a few of the other topical sessions. I know the session I'm doing on conflict management called No More Drama. We are creating files that you can take with you. So you can take our PowerPoint slides, you can take a suggested script. Any handouts that we have, we'll have a QR code on site. So if you go to one of our sessions and you really like it, you can scan that QR code and immediately have access to those materials so that you can take it back to your club and re-present it on your own. You'll have everything you need. So we are excited about that. We're not going to be able to have that for every single session, but the membership sessions for sure. And then a few other staff-led sessions specifically, we will have all of that readily available for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, absolutely. Being able to share with clubs back home is super important. We know that many of your clubs sponsor you to attend this, and we want to make sure that they are then able to benefit from this, from your attendance as well. So, and also we're not doing a virtual convention this year. So we want to be able to still have some learning happen after the fact.
So explain that none of the programs will be live streamed or available, correct?
Correct. The only thing that is going to be live streamed will be the business meeting on Saturday. That will be on Facebook Live as usual. We want our membership to be able to see how that how the voting and the amendments and all of that is going down. But we've opted as a cost savings this year to not do the virtual convention because it is quite an expensive undertaking. So we opted not to do that this year.
Will the documents that you make available by QR code, will those also be available after the convention on the Kiwanis website?
Yes, we will also set up a space for that to be available. So if you forgot to scan the QR code, or if that's not super convenient for you, we will also set that up to be available online for easy access. So we'll connect that to the convention website so you can go on and find those materials after the fact.
Perfect. Other questions, other thoughts?
I want to put in a plug.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Can you guess who I want to plug, Lyns?
I know who you want to plug, but you go for it.
So there's a redhead who's speaking, and Ann Bonnie was one of the speakers in the first series of Amplify. And I sent her an email because I was just so impressed with what she presented during Amplify. And I got almost an immediate response and then a phone call. And it was during COVID. And so she did a virtual meeting with my club just as like a practice thing. And then recorded a presentation that we showed as one of our keynote speeches at the Montana District Convention for our 100-year anniversary. She has stayed in touch with us. She and I have talked several times by Zoom and by phone, and we chat back and forth quite a bit. And she has if any of you have listened to her or seen her book, she has an expression called "Punch It, Margaret." And when she did that presentation, the people in Montana wanted to know where they could get a Punch It Margaret sticker, and she didn't have them. Well, guess what? She now has Punch It Margaret stickers. She is one of the most energetic people I have ever had the privilege of being around. And if you know me, you know that that's kind of a high priority. So if you don't have anything else to do, Gary, I see you laughing. If you don't have anything else to do during that session, and even if you do, get yourself to see Ann Bonnie. She's definitely worth it.
And to go along with that, all of our Launchpad speakers will be spending some time in the exhibit hall as well. Any of the Ann Bonnie has a book, Teresa has a book. Yeah, Anne and Teresa have books, so they will be selling their books in the exhibit hall and stopping for photo ops, all that good stuff. Trey's going to do some photo ops, and the Kiwanis Club of Santa Fe and Zozobra's 100th anniversary will have a booth in the exhibit hall as well, so you can stop and talk to various members of their club, even if you can't make one of their sessions, so you can learn a little bit more about the project. They're going to have Zozobra pinatas at the booth, so you can whack a pinata if you want. It'll be a good time. So there will be opportunities to engage with those Launchpad speakers as well, which we're excited about.
So in the chat, we have a couple questions. Will the sessions that will be available after the convention only be available to attendees or for all members?
We will not have they won't be locked down. They'll be open to anyone. So I personally prefer that someone who attends convention and has seen the program be the one to then take the program and redeliver it. I feel like it contextually it's going to make a lot more sense if you do it that way, but just in terms of gaining the information, anyone will be able to download it.
And then the second question is, early in the presentation, you mentioned what she thinks is a new membership program tool. Is this in conjunction with a 2 for 2 or enhancement? And it's a new tool that's been made available. It was just, actually the secretaries were sent the document.
I don't know if I
Actually, all members were sent. It's the membership plan. It's like a 4-page or 6, maybe even 6-page.
It's 8
kinda
pages.
8
Go
pages.
along and play with it thing.
Yeah, so I don't know if I didn't talk about that tonight, but yes, look at you,
Gary's
Gary.
got it.
You are so prepared. He's got it in hand. But yes, so every club, Kiwanis Engage, that might be what you're talking about. Okay.
Oh,
So
maybe.
we'll talk about the club membership plan, and then I'll talk about Kiwanis Engage. So the club membership plan is what the packet that Gary just held up in front of the screen and what Kathy was talking about. So that is kind of along the same vein as the 2 for 2 program, except it is really a planning tool. So all clubs in the United States should have received a physical packet within the last month, mailing from Kiwanis International that included that piece in it. It is available on the website at kiwanis.org/club-toolbox. Okay, club-toolbox virtually. So, but what that document does is your club can use it to figure out how you want to grow and what tool is best for you to use. Is it 2 for 2? It might be. 2 for 2 is a great program. It's easy to use, but you may say, it's not really working for us. So maybe it's best for you to work on growing via visit days or an open house or a club boost or some other method. Okay. So this membership plan will walk you through the process of what is our membership looking like? What are our trends? Okay. And what's the general vibe of our club? So these should have been received by club secretaries. This was in the general mailer that goes out every year, and is should have been received in April. I don't know.
It was sent. It was also sent by email to all members' email addresses the week of like April 16th, 18th, somewhere in that vicinity.
And it was sent, the hard copy, so to say, was sent to the club secretaries.
Yes.
Correct.
And Tiffany's got the link in the chat directly.
Thanks, Tiffany.
To that document. Cheers to you, Tiffany. Thank you for that. Yeah, so it is available in all different formats, but yes, it is the same document, whether you have it physically or you print it out yourself. But the point of it is to help your club figure out what is the best method for you to use to grow, and then to help you plan that process out and what it looks like, rather than simply say, use this method here, do this. It's what makes most sense for your club and walks you through that process. I love it. I think it's a great document, a great tool. And we're excited about that. Okay.
If you were with us, Lynsy, if you were with us last week, or if you go to the YouTube site, Chris Martz, the director of membership and engagement, actually presented that program on Voices of Service last week, and it's available on the YouTube website. So
there you go. Perfect. Love that. So in terms of Kiwanis Engage, so Kiwanis Engage is actually a replacement for Kiwanis Connect. It is the new dashboard. So club secretaries, especially district secretaries, leadership development coordinators, those of you lieutenant governors, all of you that are frequent flyers on Kiwanis Connect. Kiwanis Engage is the updated Cadillac version of Kiwanis Connect. Okay. It's been many years in the making. It is it has been a labor of love, but it looks great and we're really excited about it. Please don't panic over the fact that you may or may not know a whole heck of a lot about it yet. Education is being built out for each level of leadership that would want to use it. Everyone from the general member, because we want everyone logging into it, all the way up to what a district secretary, district governor, all that kind of stuff would need to use on it. So board members, what you all need to use on it. So Kiwanis Engage will be that replacement. So we're going to be giving you a little bit of a preview of what that's going to look like, the features and all that kind of stuff. So all of your monthly reports, all of your officer reporting, all of your roster updates, all of that kind of stuff will be done in Kiwanis Engage, but not yet. And yes, I am not giving you a release date because we don't know exactly what the release date is yet, but it is coming and we're excited to be showing you a preview of it. Okay. What other questions?
Other questions?
This is a question for going forward. If we have an idea for a workshop or something at Icon or something we want to do, what's the usual time frame to get it to you prior to the conference to decide if it can be in there?
Now,
for next year?
If you have an idea for Pittsburgh, send me an email now. I am trying to have education done in August for convention in Pittsburgh. Paul is a very big fan of planning in advance. He wants to have registration open super early for convention. He loves convention, as one should, right? Because convention is great. So he wants to make sure that our members have access to that early and often. And so we want to be as prepared as we can for that. So I am planning now for education in Pittsburgh. Obviously, we are going to take the feedback from this year's convention and use that to help us guide and fine tune what we're going to be doing in Pittsburgh. But yes, so if you have ideas, feel free to email me. I'll put my email in the chat as I will be orchestrating that process for 2025. And there's my email. So yes, I would love to have your ideas on that. The other thing that I would like to mention about all of our education sessions, we tried this last year and it didn't work super well because it was new. But we're going to try it again. We're going to be doing our evaluations via QR code at the end of each session. So at the end of the session on the slides, we will have a QR code and we ask that everybody when they finish a session, you scan it, and on your way to the next session, you can submit your evaluation of the session that you just attended. These QR codes will also be on the electronic screen outside of every single door going into an education session room. So if you forgot or you left early, you can scan it on your way into the next room. It's the same QR code for every session. You just go in and pick the one that you just went to and send us our evaluation. We need your evaluations. That is how we improve. So we need to know that. CK, I see that you're asking if sessions are recorded. No, none of our education sessions are recorded. The last few years we did a virtual convention where we recorded sessions and made some of them available, but due to the extreme cost of that, we have discontinued that practice. So we are not recording them. However, as we talked about earlier, we will have many of the sessions, we will have the slides, the suggested scripts, and all of the handouts available for you to take and bake those sessions with your own clubs. CKI will be joining us again this year. Yes, thank you, Linda, for that. And they will have their own, a number of their own education sessions going simultaneously with some of ours. Some of it will be offset, so they can do all of that good stuff. So if you're involved with CKI, you'll have an opportunity to engage with our fantastic students as they join us for this year's convention. Take the time to introduce yourself, say hello, learn a little bit more about the awesome things that they're doing on their campuses and for their communities and for the world in general. They're doing some really impressive things. So definitely want to take the time to connect with our CKI partners.
And I want to echo Kathy's comment, and I know that many else feel the same way about the positive changes that are happening. And I don't want to say so much changes because they're improvements to what we're doing, and how we're moving forward and adapting to what's going on in the world and how things are done nowadays. And I think that's a great look for our organization, that we are looking at new things, we are doing different things, and it's not, not the same old, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely, yes, thank you. And we know nothing is ever going to be perfect, but that's a good thing. And anything that doesn't go well or doesn't go exactly as planned, that gives us an opportunity for next year to do even better. And again, why your evaluations and your feedback are so important to us, so that we can take what you really loved, what you didn't care for so much, and use that information to make improvements and shifts for next year. We put this convention on for you all, right? Like, we want you to gain from it. We want you to enjoy yourselves. We want you to learn something. We want to give you things that are useful. And so if we're missing the mark in some way, we want to know that. If we're hitting the mark, we want to know that, so that we can give you more. So yes, thank you for your feedback and your participation, and for helping us spread the word of what exactly we are trying to do at these conventions. Because I think for those of you who have attended in the past, you know how powerful attending a Kiwanis International Convention can be. You don't truly understand the scale and the scope of what it is we do until you join thousands of our members from all over the world and hear of the impact that we're making worldwide. And that is exciting and inspiring, and just makes you want to keep coming back for more Kiwanis goodness, right? So thank you for helping to spread the word for what we're doing.
And I will also send everyone that's registered for the Voices of Service programs, after the download is cleaned up tonight, I will send you an email that says it's available. You're welcome to share that link with anybody so they can go back and watch this program or any of the other programs are out there, because there are programs on dues and amendments and membership that they are available for anyone to watch. You don't have to have any special code to get in, because it is all on YouTube. So you're welcome to go back and look at all those and share them within your district, and use them in any way that you want in that regard. So any other questions or about convention in general? I should say, how many have registered for convention? Yay.
Oh yeah.
Should be a good time. Denver's a great place to be. And we are also celebrating the 100th anniversary of our objects of Kiwanis International. So that will also be there.
We've got special set up in the exhibit hall for that, and we do have a special session on the 100th anniversary of the objects. So we're excited about that as well.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, I thank you so much, Sue, for having me on. Thank you all for joining us, and I am very excited to see you all in Denver. Again, let me know. I put my email in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions or any suggestions for Pittsburgh. But I'll catch you in Denver.
All right. Thanks, Lynsy. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. You should get an email once the video is up and ready to go. And we will see you in Denver, and hopefully we'll see you next week when we talk about movie clips in leadership, all wrapped together. So we'll see you on Denver. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Sue. Thanks,
Bye.
Lynn.